How much money has your company raised so far?
I'll say around $6 million.
For those who don't know, what are the returns someone can expect from investing in sports?
Or you can make 10x, 20x, 30x.
Wow.
You give advice you don't receive. No, I'm joking.
That's a good stuff. This is the video you're gonna watch till the end if you have a great job but are looking to change your career and do something on your own. If you're a big sports fan and know how impactful sports are. If you're looking for some real juicy entrepreneurial content, or even if you're looking for a really cool and a different way to invest. Let's go. Here he is, the man who never stops working. What's up, my man?
Hey, man, how are you?
Doing great. Ready to start filming? Good to see you too. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do you mind taking us for a tour?
Of course, let's do it.
So this is where we're going to be filming the long conversation. Hadi's about to take us on a quick tour of the rest of the co-working space, which is really awesome. Let's go.
We've got Rascals for coffee.
There we go.
Here we've got some meeting rooms. We've got some
More rooms.
extra meeting rooms, big meeting rooms for presentations.
I love it. It's big on privacy. Look at that.
This is the outdoor area with the pool.
Look at this. Thank you.
This is our entertainment area, a pool table. We've got some foosball.
Table tennis. What makes your business special?
We are the first and only platform in the world that enables everyone to invest in sports. Imagine that you can own shares in a football club today.
Who am I with today?
Hadi Halabi, the co-founder and CEO of Stryde, the first and only digital sports investment platform.
How much money has your company raised so far?
We raised close to $1 million, and if you ask me the same question in 6 months, I'll say around $6 million.
For those who don't know, what are the returns someone can expect from investing in sports?
The beauty of sports is that it could be a venture capital-like investment or a private equity-like investment. If you're investing in an established team, established league, established sport, then the returns could be high teens, early 20s, maybe even 30% IRR. But if you're investing in a team that's in the lower leagues and there is a project where you can take this team and get promoted and grow it, or a new sport that's starting now and there's a lot of potential, then the returns could be more venture-like, or you can make 10x, 20x, 30x.
Wow.
Wrexham, for example. Wrexham, which Ryan Reynolds acquired in the 5th division, now they're in the 3rd division, already 10x on valuation, and there's a lot more potential, and they're going to keep growing.
And what I'm hearing from this is that anyone can invest and experience those returns with you guys.
Yes, so the minimum investment is $1,000, depending on the deal. On a deal-by-deal basis, we specify a minimum investment. It could be $1,000 in a football club, it could be $20,000, $50,000, depending on the deal. But yes, some deals are as low as $1,000.
What's the best piece of business advice that you ever received?
Best business advice I've ever received. I give advice you don't receive. No, I'm joking.
That's a good stuff.
I'm joking.
What's the best piece of business advice you ever received?
Progress over perfection, and always trust the customer's feedback. Sometimes you're too deep into the product that you think it's perfect, it's very clear, and then you speak to the first customer, second customer, third customer, and you realize it's not that clear. Trust the customer feedback, go after as much feedback as you can, and always try to go for progress over perfection, because the product is not going to be perfect, especially in the early days.
Finally, what is your favorite business cliche?
For me, the team is core to any business. And the cliche is that you should hire slow and fire fast. And we've heard that many times, but I cannot emphasize the importance of this statement. Yeah?
Okay, now let's jump in for some longer, juicier questions.
So,
all right, so this segment is going to be an informal conversation, almost like a podcast, but just to get to know Hadi and Stryde a little bit deeper. First of all, I want to thank Hadi because this is our second time filming this. First time had a lot of technical issues, so thank you for your time. Thank you for your flexibility.
It was fun the first time, we had to do it again.
Amazing. Okay, let's just get started with something very, very simple. In one sentence, what is Stryde?
Stryde is the first and only sports-focused digital investment platform.
Imagine you want to explain Stryde to an investor as though they were only 5 years old. How does it work?
That's one of my favorite questions. Anything that has to do with simplifying what we're doing and simplifying what things are and how they're done is something I'd love to do. But essentially, it's a platform. You go on a website and you can browse investment opportunities just like you're investing in stocks. But these investment opportunities are football clubs And you
Awesome.
can end in 5 minutes. You can end up owning shares in top European football clubs, in basketball clubs, in the NBA, NFL, global sports, in 5 minutes on a digital platform, which never existed before.
Which is a great segue onto my next question. I know we talked a lot about this offline, but for those who are skeptical, it sounds too good to be true. How come Hadi is the first to work on something like this? Why has it not been done before?
Yeah, so if you asked Elon Musk about electric cars in 2008, he would have said no one had the foresight of doing something like that. And I'll have the same answer. No one had the foresight of building something that's fully digital, fully transparent, under a regulated framework. We went after a license. We worked a year and a half with the regulators to become the first and only regulated platform where we can enable individuals and institutional investor to come in on a digital platform, access those types of deals, and end up transacting in a very simple manner. We're simplifying the whole process. We're revolutionizing how private equity and venture capital works.
Amazing. To highlight something that you just kind of breezed over, a license that takes a year and a half is something that deters a lot of people. Because a lot of people, when they enter business, their first question is, how do I make money quickly? Taking a year and a half to license something delays even just launching the product.
Trust me, I know the pain.
Exactly. And the other thing is, I actually registered and I signed up, and the amount and the rigor, of the questions that you need to ask as a platform and for me as a potential investor to answer was unbelievable. And as I was answering those questions, what I felt was, oh my God, okay, there's so much that I want to answer, but I said, okay, but now I know every registered user goes through the same process of being verified, of being documented, so there isn't messing around. It's a very, very controlled environment, even though it's a very new idea.
Any user, any investor, we're hoping that people coming onto our platform have previous experience,
Yes.
and mostly in stocks or crypto or any type of other investment platforms. You'll have been through the same process, whether it's interactive brokers or
Yes.
Binance or even local platforms or global platforms. There is a rigorous process to regulate the platform, so we're expecting people to have seen it before.
Yes.
Now, the beauty of our process is that from the feedback we've gotten, it's even easier than those
I agree.
platforms. It's been smoother, and that's a good feedback to get.
I love it because it also taps into that technical aspect of you're doing part of the process on the computer, and then you have options to do a part of it on the phone, especially when the camera could be a little bit better if you're scanning a document or uploading some sort of verified document. So I love that aspect of it. Talk to us a little bit more about the limitless potential of the sports investment industry.
So the sports market is going to become a $9 trillion market over the next couple of years. To put that into perspective, we've all interacted with sports. We all are aware of what sports is, but sports was never an investable asset class. It was just something we watched for entertainment. We never understood it from a business perspective. And now it's becoming a highly investable asset class. Obviously, there is a big target market, which is 8 billion people, because you can reach 8 billion people through sports. But now there are fundamentals that are driving the sports as a business. There are sophisticated investors coming into the business of sports and revolutionizing how we look at it as a business, not just purely from an entertainment perspective. The next few years are critical, which is why I think we're in this market at the right time, also in the right region, and the potential is just endless.
We're going to shift a little bit more to the transition from corporate to entrepreneur. Some people might not know, but you have an investment banking background,
Yeah.
a background in finance. And unlike many entrepreneurs, it's not that you were struggling with your job or just fed up with, no, it was a great career. So can you take us back to that moment of when you transitioned, what the thought process was like? And in terms of timing, some people calculate their risks, some people weigh the options, take their time. What was it like when you took the step?
I'll start in reverse. I had zero calculations. I just made the decision, stuck with it. If I calculated anything, I wouldn't have done the decision I did, and I wouldn't have taken the step that I did. And as for my career in banking, it was a great career. It's a great job. I think investment banking is one of those jobs where you learn a lot, you earn decent money, and it's a tough job to leave because it's golden handcuffs. For me, it was about more than that. It was about the conviction that I can do more, that I want to see what I'm capable of on my own. But then also I had the idea and the vision that I fully believed in. I could foresee that in 5 years, this is $1 billion company. This is $1 billion business. I had to trust my gut, my instinct, and my abilities. And so far, I'm really happy with my decision. Ask me again in a few years, and I hope to say it was the best decision ever. I already say that, but I can prove it, back it.
I love it, and especially the conviction aspect, because for those who don't know, even when you talk to Hadi in person, offline, off camera, that conviction is real. It's a genuine belief of the impact of sports. As a sports fan himself, unfortunately, he's a Man United fan.
Unfortunately.
But even from a business aspect, when you try to challenge an idea or suggest an alternative, he'll hear you gladly. But there's such conviction in the basics and in the grounds of what they're doing that even though the platform itself is continuously changing and being updated based on the feedback, the core of what they're trying to do is there. And I love the conviction, and I feel like more entrepreneurs should have it and go full force with it.
Thanks a lot for that, appreciate it. And I think at the early stage, it has to be a dictatorship. You just have to fully believe in what you're doing and what you're saying, and trust yourself and go for it. And you could always debate and open to ideas, obviously, and a lot of what you hear and what you see inspires what you do next. But the execution part of it has to be a dictatorship where you're just very convinced with the decision. Some people might see the vision, some people might not. You just have to go for it. And this is how great ideas start, and this is how they turn from ideas into businesses.
Awesome. And in this case, in turning this idea to a business, what makes you the perfect person to lead this effort and be the person driving this forward as Hadi? So you can tackle this either on a personality perspective or on a background in terms of your education and work experience.
You should ask my co-founder and our investors. They'll be better positioned to answer
This is his humble side talking, but I'd love to hear it from you.
If I am to answer, I just think that on a ability perspective, I've got what it takes to be able to see this through, to execute on this, and to be able to gather everything that's surrounding me and turn it into what we will do next. And then also from a non-technical perspective, I think the relationships that I've built, the capabilities that I've built as soft skills also position me in a good place to take this forward. And there's a lot more to it. You need to have that determination, that hunger, that drive, which you need to outwork everyone, in my opinion. I think hard work beats talent every day. But I just think you need to have this desire, this hunger, this drive inside of you that tells you every single day, every single morning, you have to wake up, outwork everyone, and be better than everyone else. Because if you want to build a business that's better than any other business, you have to be better personally. Every single person in our team has to be better than other teams, and you have to look at how you can be better as a person the next day than you were yesterday. But then also you have to be on top of your game every single day.
I love it. One underlying theme, and I've witnessed this personally, is stamina. Hadi's stamina, and part of it is that license that took 1.5 years, which many people might not have the longevity to, weather that storm of just waiting 1.5 years just to be able to function. But the other thing is Hadi literally works nonstop. And then part of it is we were discussing, switching off, doing something a little bit different. And it just goes back to that determination of right now, my focus at this age and at this time is to get this product, get this idea to its true potential and what it could truly be. So I just wanted to offer the audience this perspective, because credit needs to be given where credit is due. You are grinding, man.
And I think this goes down to one fundamental thing, and it might be a bit cliche. If you're enjoying what you're doing, it's not work anymore. This for me is not work.
That.
This is literally my life. This is what I want to talk about, this is what I want to be doing, and it's not a job. I don't need time off. I don't need a vacation from this. I don't need to switch off. It's just
That's awesome.
This is part of who I am, and it's something that I want to do, whether I get the chance to stop for a bit or not. It's something that I want to do every day. And this also goes back to the hunger and desire, yes. But anyone who wants to do something like that, they need to know that it's non-stop.
Yeah.
It's non-stop, and it's relentless. And if you want to get it done, you have to go through hell.
I love it. And at least going through hell is a process that at least you're enjoying.
Yeah, absolutely. And then again, we're doing a sports business, basically, and we could always refer to athletes for inspiration. Kobe Bryant lost the finals. Same night, he was at the gym working. He was working out.
Yeah.
He was taking shots. So this is the level. If you want to reach Kobe Bryant level of legendary in the business aspect of things, you need to have the Kobe Bryant level of commitment and dedication.
Hadi, if we shift gears now and focus a little bit more on your entrepreneurial journey, what are some aspects that you feel are underappreciated or not spoken about enough in this space?
Oh, that's a great question. The mental challenge. There is a big mental barrier, mental fatigue that you can go through as an entrepreneur, and it's the different thoughts that go through your head. It's a risky business. If things don't happen every day, within 3 to 6 months, you're out of business. And this challenge is incredible. The amount of pressure that you go through is incredible because it's not just you, it's the team that you've built. Today we're 10 employees, and these employees are our family.
Of course.
So if we are to make it through, things have to happen every day.
Hadi, someone watching now is probably thinking, I'm in a job, whether they like it or not is debatable, but they have an idea and they want to pursue the entrepreneurial route. In your opinion, how should they go about it? What are the steps to follow?
First of all, have enough conviction in the idea. If you have any doubts, even if 0.1%, do not do it. You need to understand that everyone will tell you this won't work. This is bad, this is terrible, stick at your job. From family to friends, people will tell you, you're doing great, you don't need to change. Yeah. So you have to have zero doubts, absolutely zero doubts. If you've got any doubts, do not do it. The second thing is, I'm a big believer of burn the ships, which I mentioned to you previously.
I love it.
It's the concept of if you want to go to an island and conquer the island, as soon as you reach the shores, burn the ships. That way you know you have no way out. You have no way back. You either conquer the island or you're done. And that's an extreme case, which I personally did, but try to phase that out a bit where you build the base, understand more about what you want to do, and then when you feel it's the right time, fully focus on that.
Love it.
I'm a big believer of going all in.
100%. How do you feel about plan Bs though?
I hate plan Bs.
You hate them?
I have no plan Bs. It's
It's
either
either
plan A
success.
or plan A.
Nice.
It's as simple
Nice.
as that.
Because
I genuinely don't have plan B.
and some people, the counter might be, but Hadi, you're still quite young, and if someone watching this has a family, has these responsibilities that come with age, kids, they might tell you, but I need to have one. What would that be, hypothetically? Would it be maybe at least have a financial runway? Would it be network enough to have at least an exit? In your opinion,
So first of all, I cannot speak of having responsibilities such as family and kids because I
you
don't
don't
have
yet.
one. But everyone has responsibilities, including me. Might not be kids, but
course,
everyone
other
has responsibilities. And to answer your question, there's a fundamental point for me that if I'm asking myself, okay, I should have some savings. When is it enough? When do you call it that, okay, I've got enough, I should start? It could be a certain amount for you, a different amount for someone else. So that could keep dragging on and on and on. And yes, absolutely, you should not leave yourself stranded. You should definitely have some sort of safety net in one way or another. That will help a lot too. And that will release a bit of that pressure that we're talking about. But then again, when is the right time? There is no answer to that. It's just when you feel it's the right time, this is when the right time.
Love it. So that people just don't keep coming up with excuses that would delay.
Those who are coming up with those excuses, they shouldn't do it anyway.
Okay,
I mean,
makes sense. Makes sense. It's a sign for you. Yeah.
It's a big risk. Whether you're 25 or 45 or 65, you're taking a significant risk in your life.
Yeah.
And you're doing something that no one does. But also you're hoping to become someone that no one has. So that's how it works. This is how the risk-reward ratio is. And if you want to do something like that, you've got to go through things like that.
I once read a quote that said, if you want to do something that hasn't been done before, the quote is, if you want to achieve something that's never been achieved before, you have to do something that's never been done before.
Absolutely.
And it goes exactly to what you mentioned. But on this point, someone has the conviction, someone's ready to burn the ships, but they feel like they want to learn about the entrepreneurship, at least the basics. Profit and loss sheet, how to lead, how to attract investors. you're a big fan of learning while doing it. But
Yes.
what would other avenues of learning how that process works?
In our age, education is the easiest and most accessible thing out there.
Yes.
Genuinely. If you like to read, books. If you don't like to read, podcasts. If you don't like podcasts, YouTube videos. There is absolutely infinite amount
Lot of
of
information.
content out there that can teach you. Now, that's good and bad because then there is different types of content creators and content where the quality might not be as good, and
course.
a lot of this is objective and subjective, and you have to figure out what's right and what's wrong. And
There's a lot to navigate.
exactly, but there are standard stuff.
Okay.
There are definitely standard topics, standard ways, and depending on what type of person you are, how do you consume knowledge?
You'll be able
Millions
to
of ways.
differentiate.
Yes.
Love
If
it.
anyone wants to learn anything, you can from scratch today, and you can in a month be decent enough at this thing.
Love it. So someone has done so far every step, the conviction, burning the ships, the education, at least the basics, and they're like, you know what, I'm ready. Just before the get-go, what are some things I can do to increase my chances of success? Because you know how it is, and then you mentioned this briefly while we were talking. There are some common mistakes entrepreneurs often do. So we can either talk about the common mistakes you can avoid, or some things to increase the chances. However you want to tackle the question.
Start with whatever product you can monetize from day one.
Nice.
That's something I did not do. So I went after a business where I had to go through a licensing process for a year and a half, building my business during that time, but not making any revenues. And if I do it again, I'd find a way to start making revenues from day one. Maybe it's selling a newsletter, as simple as that. Maybe just becoming a thought leader on sports and this business side of sports and investments in sports, and just monetizing that. Start with anything that can make you revenue. First of all, that will make you very unique. That will put you ahead of 99% of other business builders. But then also it will give you the runway and will give you the flexibility, and it will allow you to manage how things are. Because if you're making, let's say, $100,000 in revenue a year, you can manage your cost, spend 50, keep 50. So it helps a lot before you go out and fundraise and start speaking with potential investors, and you have a business plan and you want to discuss the details and the fundamentals and the unit economics. Start by making revenue from day one.
Love it. Love it. Because the other end of it as well is you're also spending from your pocket until you make that first dollar.
Absolutely.
So that runway, the safety net that you were having for yourself, is now being put into the business, which isn't right, and it wasn't the intention.
Absolutely.
So now you have less time for this business to make or break it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Love it. If we focus a little bit on you as Hadi, and you mentioned this briefly a little bit, what drives you every day? Is it the success of the business, or is it the pursuit of just success itself, being something happen?
I think it's obviously a combination of both, and it's linked. The success of the business is reliant on the success of myself, and obviously the success of the team too, because it's not a one-man show and you cannot do this on your own. You need to have people that you can rely on. But what drives me every day is that hunger and desire to just see what we're capable of.
Nice.
I want to keep pushing every day, and then in 10 years look at what was achieved. Today we live it on a day-by-day basis. We look at the next day and the next day and the next day. But if you reflect at 2 years ago, you can see the 2-year change, which is beautiful.
Phenomenal.
And then if you reflect 5 years from now, you'll be able to see that
It's much
5-year
more.
change, which if we keep going on that same trajectory, looking at it on a day-by-day basis, hopefully will be incredible.
Love it. I love that over the conversations you have so much optimism in the sports world, so which goes down that long-term thinking, and so much optimism in the evolution of people and their mindset and how they how they approach these investment opportunities.
Look, I've got no doubt that this will work. Maybe we'll keep iterating, and maybe the business model will change in one way or another. Regardless of what the business model will end up being like in a few years, I've got zero doubts that this will work.
Love it. When were you underestimated in life, and how did you prove those haters wrong?
I'm still at a relatively young age. Any conversation you'd go to, late 20s, 28, you're still relatively young, right? And the investments aspect of thing, when you're going after capital and when you're building an investment platform where you're asking different types of individuals, some of them could be in a similar situation, a similar age, similar type of people, and then some might be much, much older, especially when you're going after family offices and institutional capital and you're dealing with the chief investment officers who are different generations.
Of course.
You're always underestimated, and in a good way. I mean, I think that you have to prove yourself. Respect is earned, reputation is earned. You have to build yourself up, you have to prove yourself, you have to go through all of those conversations where you could be underestimated or disregarded. And this happened even throughout my career. You start off from the junior level, and then you're underestimated
Work your way up.
by a lot of your seniors who think that they know more, and rightfully so. Experience can never be beaten. You can think that you're the smartest person in the world, and you might be, but experience is very important to the extent that an experienced person can know much more and do much more than someone who's purely intelligent. You have to combine everything, right? And you have to surround yourself with people that can give you the right advice, and where if you're not experienced yourself, you can get a bit of that experience and try to integrate it into your formula.
How did you experience growth on a personal level since starting the entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, insane. It's on every single level. On a personal level, on a managerial level, on a people level, on a technical level, literally every single aspect of life, of business, has just been continuous growth. And you make mistakes, and I will keep on making mistakes, and I think we should all, and we will all make mistakes until forever. And you learn every day something new. You're interacting with different types of people. You're speaking different conversations, you're having different conversations, so different interactions, and that drives a lot. You're doing different things technically. You're focused on different things where you're trying to extract, well, a lot of it could be data on the product, right? And that's one thing. But then you're having a conversation from an investor who could be a user, and that's personal feedback. And then you're having conversations to fundraise for your company. And then you're going out there and doing some marketing and learning about marketing with your team. And then there's also the tech aspect of things where you're having the conversations with your tech team and understanding what needs to be built. Endless. Whether technical or non-technical, it's endless.
But is there a specific aspect that you particularly feel proud about?
All of it, but I think the business development side of things, where not that it's sales, but at the end of the day, when you're running a business, you are the salesman, you are the head of business development, you are the marketing person, you're everything.
Every hat is
your. When you're employed in a corporate world, especially like investment banking, it's much more technical. You deal with people in a completely different way, and there's a lot of transferable skills, but not as much as you think.
Makes sense.
And a lot of that is just uncomfortable. You do things that are very uncomfortable, and I'm proud of what we've managed to do so far, especially in those uncomfortable situations, because it's very easy to run away from it. It's very easy to decide, I'm not going to call this client because it's going to be a tough conversation, I don't want to do it. It's very easy for you to shy away from the things that make you uncomfortable, and you have to do the uncomfortable stuff.
Hadi, one last question on a personal level. Where do you see yourself growing the most during 2025?
I think 2025 will be a crucial year for us. I will be personally moving more from operator to manager. Everything that's been done so far has been done majority by me or has gone through me. And this is, as much as I love it, it has to change as we grow, as the team grows, as we evolve as a business. And naturally, I will become more focused on business development and just managing the team and the execution instead of doing it myself, which will be a big challenge for me. I love to do things myself, but I'm going to have to start, as we grow, as we hire the right talent, as we hire top talent, obviously trust the talent and just leave some autonomy and a lot of autonomy to everyone who's part of the team. And my job will be more managerial on a day-to-day operational basis, and more focused on business development, which is sourcing the right deals, the right sports investment opportunities, and focused on closing these opportunities.
Amazing. It's almost a shift in mindset of if you want to do something right, then you do it yourself, which is the early stage of the business. And now you move into the fact that you're growing and you're scaling, and you have to have that delegation process running smoothly.
It's not going to be that quick, but it should be. But
Okay, one final question, just to wrap it up. What is the best piece of advice on business, life, or even relationships that you've ever received or come across?
there's this very famous quote by this very famous poet, Mahmoud Darwish, and it's step on the edge of your dream and fight. Simple, short, but it's by far the thing that I hold closely to my heart, and I just love it.
I feel like it summarizes pretty much what we spoke about. Couldn't find a more perfect ending to this. So thank you for your time, man. It was an absolute pleasure.
It was great. I really enjoyed it, and we'll definitely
Likewise.
be doing this again because it was a lot of fun. Not necessarily online, might be offline, but it was a lot of fun.
Definitely, man. Thank you so much, Habib.
Thank you.
Explaining it to a 5-year-old.
That's my favorite question.
How does Stryde actually work?
Imagine you have an app. Well, we don't have an app, right? So no, we don't have an app.
Okay, Hadi, we're gonna go into something. Sorry, this is important. Yeah.
And I think people under شو خلاص فيك توقف جواب هون بلا
Okay.
بس
خلاص.
كيف بدي under شو people underrate, people undervalue the level of effort that you have to خلاص شو
I love this.
خلاص طيب. I think 2025 will be a
Good. We'll repeat the whole thing. I think you're just trying to be. You are a very humble person. You're under. You're. I messed it up.
هيدي الاندر دايما خلص بلا اندر خير.
Okay.